Let me ask you something. What would happen to your life right now if your car broke down tomorrow or your phone screen shattered? Your kid got sick and needed an emergency doctor visit. Your landlord hit you with an unexpected fee. Nothing dramatic, nothing catastrophic, just a normal, annoying $800 to $1,000 problem. For most people, that single moment starts a chain reaction. They reach for the credit card. They borrow from a friend. They skip a bill. And just like that, they're in debt over one unexpected expense. Here's the scary part. That's not a money problem. That's a preparation problem. And today, we're going to fix it with one of the simplest, most powerful rules in all of personal finance. It's called the $1,000 emergency rule, and it might be the most important financial move you ever make. The statistics are terrifying. Before we get into the rule itself, let's look at where most people actually stand. According to recent surveys, nearly 60% of Americans cannot cover an unexpected $1,000 expense without going into debt or borrowing money. Let that sink in. 6 out of 10 people living one car repair away from financial crisis. And it gets worse. The average unexpected emergency costs between $1,000 and $3,500. Medical bills, car repairs, home appliances breaking down. These aren't rare events. These are Tuesday. Now here's what happens when people aren't prepared. They put it on a credit card, charging 22% interest. A $1,000 emergency becomes $1,220 after a year if they only pay the minimum. It becomes $1,500 after 2 years. The emergency is long gone, but the debt stays, growing, quietly, every single month. This is how people fall behind, not from laziness, not from stupidity, from one unprepared moment that snowballed into months of debt payments. The $1,000 emergency rule exists to break that cycle before it starts. What is the $1,000 emergency rule? The rule is simple. Before you invest, before you pay extra on debt, before you save for a vacation or a new phone or anything else, you save $1,000 in a separate, untouched account. That's it. $1,000 sitting there, doing nothing, waiting. This concept was made famous by personal finance expert Dave Ramsey as the very first baby step in his financial framework. And even if you disagree with everything else he teaches, this one step is universally respected across every school of financial thought. Because here's what that $1,000 does. It doesn't make you rich. It doesn't earn you much interest. What it does is far more powerful. It breaks the debt cycle at its entry point. Think of it like a firewall on your finances. Most people fall into debt not from big disasters, but from small emergencies they weren't ready for. The $1,000 fund is the wall between you and that trap. No credit card needed, no borrowing from family, no skipping rent. You just open the fund, handle the problem, and then rebuild the fund. Clean, simple, no interest, no shame. Why $1,000 specifically? You might be wondering, why not $500? Why not $5,000? Great question. The number is intentional. $500 covers some emergencies, but not most. The average car repair in the US is $500 to $1,500. The average emergency room copay is $150 to $500. A broken phone replacement runs $200 to $800. $500 leaves you exposed too often. $5,000 is the right goal eventually, but as a starting target, it feels so far away that most people never begin. The psychology of the $1,000 figure is that it is achievable fast. For most people, with focus, it can be saved in 1 to 3 months. That quick win builds momentum. $1,000 also covers roughly 85% of common financial emergencies that everyday people face. It's not meant to handle a job loss or a major medical crisis. That's what a full emergency fund is for. But as a first line of defense, $1,000 is the perfect number. It's big enough to matter, small enough to reach. Where to keep it? Now, this part matters more than most people think. Where you keep your $1,000 emergency fund can determine whether it actually works or whether it quietly disappears on a random Friday night. Rule number 1, it cannot be in your main checking account. The moment it sits next to your spending money, your brain stops seeing it as sacred. It becomes a buffer, and buffers get spent. Rule number 2, it should not be invested, not in stocks, not in crypto, not in anything that can lose value. If the market drops 30% the week your car breaks down, your emergency fund just failed you. The ideal home for your $1,000 emergency fund is a high-yield savings account, completely separate from your everyday bank. Out of sight, slightly out of reach, but accessible within 1 to 2 business days when you truly need it. Some people even keep it at a different bank entirely, one with no debit card attached. The small friction of having to transfer money first is enough to prevent impulse spending, while still allowing access during a real emergency. The goal is accessible but not tempting.
How to save $1,000 fast. Okay, so you're convinced you want the $1,000, but your account currently has $47 in it, and payday is 2 weeks away. How do you actually build this thing? Here's a practical roadmap. Step 1. Declare a spending freeze for 30 days. No eating out, no new clothes, no subscriptions you haven't used in 30 days. Cut everything non-essential for 1 month. Most people find $150 to $300 just by doing this alone. Step 2. Sell something. Look around your home right now. Old electronics, clothes you haven't worn in a year, furniture collecting dust, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, local buy-sell groups. One weekend of selling unused stuff can net $200 to $500 easily. Step 3. Create one income spike. Pick up one extra shift, do one freelance job, drive for a rideshare app for 2 weekends, deliver food for 3 Saturdays. You don't need a second job forever, just a short burst of extra income to jumpstart the fund. Step 4. Automate a small transfer. Even $50 a week automatically moved to your emergency savings account adds up to $200 a month. In 5 months, you're there. Set it and forget it. The key insight is this. You are not saving $1,000. You are completing a sprint, a short, focused, temporary sacrifice with a very clear finish line. That framing makes it psychologically achievable.
What counts as an emergency? This is where a lot of people slip up. They build the fund, then rate it for the wrong reasons. So let's be very clear about what is and what is not an emergency. Yes, this is an emergency. A car repair that prevents you from getting to work, an unexpected medical bill, a broken essential appliance like a refrigerator or water heater, an urgent home repair like a roof leak, a sudden job loss expense. No, this is not an emergency. A sale at your favorite store, concert tickets, a spontaneous trip, your phone upgrade, Christmas gifts, a restaurant you really want to try. A helpful test. Ask yourself 3 questions before touching the fund. Is it unexpected? Is it necessary? Is it urgent? If the answer to all 3 is yes, it qualifies. If even one answer is no, leave the fund alone. The discipline of protecting this money is just as important as saving it in the first place. After the $1,000, what's next? So you've hit $1,000. You've used it once for an emergency and rebuilt it. Now what? Here's where the $1,000 rule transitions into a bigger strategy. Once your $1,000 starter emergency fund is stable and untouched, the next goal is building a full emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses. If your monthly expenses are $3,000, your full emergency fund target is $9,000 to $18,000. That bigger fund handles the serious emergencies, job loss, major medical crisis, significant home damage. It's the difference between a rough patch and a financial disaster. But here's the thing, most people never even get to that stage because they never built the first $1,000. The starter fund is the gateway. It builds the habit. It builds the confidence. It proves to you that you can do this. After your full emergency fund is in place, then you attack debt aggressively. Then you invest. Then you build wealth. The $1,000 rule isn't the destination, it's the first domino. The real cost of not having it. Let's talk about what happens when you skip this step. The average American pays over $1,000 per year in credit card interest alone. Much of that interest traces back to emergencies charged to cards because there was no cash available. Over 10 years, that's $10,000 in interest. Gone. For nothing. Not a vacation, not an investment, not a memory. Just the price of being unprepared. And beyond the money, there's the mental cost. The anxiety of knowing one bad day could wreck your finances. The stress that bleeds into your relationships, your sleep, your focus at work. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of divorce, depression, and poor health decisions in America. The $1,000 emergency fund doesn't just protect your bank account. It protects your peace of mind. And that is genuinely priceless. Here's what I want you to do right now before you close this video. Open your banking app. Create a new savings account. Name it Emergency Fund. And transfer whatever you can, even if it's just $10, $25, or $50 today. Not because $50 fixes anything, but because the act of starting, of making it real, is the hardest part. And once you start, the momentum builds. The $1,000 emergency rule is not complicated, it's not sexy, and it won't make you rich overnight. But it will do something better. It will stop you from getting poorer. And in a world where one bad day can spiral into months of debt, that protection is everything. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me, do you currently have an emergency fund? If yes, how long did it take you to build it? And subscribe, because next week we're going deeper into the full 6-month emergency fund strategy and exactly how to build it on any income. See you then.